Stop right there. Stop right now, and do not brush this off as another self-help fantasy, because what I am about to tell you changes the way you understand presence, influence, focus, and the invisible force people feel before a single word is spoken. I am not asking you to be entertained. I am warning you that energy manipulation is real, and most people use it every day without knowing it. Some people call it charisma, some call it intuition, some call it pressure, atmosphere, tension, or magnetism. But the effect is the same. Energy is being directed, absorbed, resisted, and returned. Do not scroll past this, because in just a moment I am going to show you a technique that can shift your state before the people around you ever learn how to read it. And that matters more than you think. Your mood changes a room. Your attention changes your body. Your internal state changes what you attract, what you tolerate, and what you unconsciously allow into your life. Most people think they are just having a good day or feeling off. Most people are actually responding to energy they do not know how to control. Stay with me, because this is not about fantasy language or vague motivation. This is about a real pattern. When your energy is scattered, other people feel it. When your energy is steady, other people feel that too. And once you understand that, you stop living as a passive receiver and start becoming deliberate. That is where the technique begins. Before we go deeper, let me give you one practical tool that many people overlook. If you want to support mental change with a simple structure, affirmations can help organize the state you bring into the day. Many actors and legends use them, not because words are magic on their own, but because repeated intention shapes attention. If you want to make your own in a simple way, you can visit the link in the description. Take advantage of it while it is available. People like to dismiss energy talk because they imagine it as something mystical, floating, or impossible to prove. But energy is not imaginary just because it is subtle. You can feel it in a silent argument. You can feel it when someone walks into a room carrying resentment. You can feel it when one person's confidence steadies everyone else without saying a word. That is energy in motion. The mistake most people make is assuming that energy only matters if it becomes dramatic. They wait for the explosion, the breakdown, the panic, the collapse. But energy starts much earlier than that. It starts in posture. It starts in breath. It starts in the way you enter a conversation, the way you leave a thought unfinished, the way you replay an insult or a memory until it becomes part of your field. This is why some people seem exhausted even before the day begins. They are leaking focus everywhere. They are allowing every notification, every fear, every unfinished emotion, and every outside opinion to pull from the same internal source. Then they wonder why their presence feels weak, why their voice feels thin, why their intentions do not hold. Energy manipulation is real, because attention is real, emotion is real, and the body obeys both far more than people admit. The question is not whether energy exists. The question is, who is directing it? If you are not directing it, something else is. Now let me show you the technique. It is simple, but simple does not mean weak. In fact, the most effective energetic practices are often the ones people overlook, because they seem too basic to matter. Here is the method. Before you enter any important interaction, stop for a moment and anchor your attention in 3 places at once. First, feel the soles of your feet. Second, relax your jaw and shoulders. Third, choose one clear inner sentence that defines your state. Not a wish, not a complaint, a direction. It can be as direct as, I am steady, I am clear, I do not leak. Then breathe slowly, and on the exhale, imagine your attention gathering back into your body instead of scattering into the room. That is the key. Most people go into life already fragmented. They walk into meetings, relationships, conversations, and even difficult decisions with their energy pulled in 12 directions. This technique brings it back. Do it before you answer a message. Do it before you enter a room. Do it before you speak about something important. Do it before you allow someone else's tension to become your own. The goal is not to perform. The goal is to reclaim. If you want a stronger version of this practice, pair it with a short affirmation that you repeat consistently before sleep or before the day begins. If you need help creating one that feels personal instead of generic, the link in the description can help you make your own. The point is to give your mind a clear signal, because energy follows instruction more readily than most people realize. And once you do this enough times, you will notice something unsettling. People respond to you differently. Not because you are forcing them, but because your energy is no longer begging, leaking, or chasing. It is contained. Most people stay drained because they keep donating energy to things that never return it. They rehearse old conversations. They anticipate rejection. They absorb other people's panic. They keep their inner space open to every demand, every memory, every fear, every outside signal. Then they call the result normal life. It is not normal. It is unmanaged transfer. When your energy is unprotected, you become easy to influence. That is why some conversations leave you confused. That is why certain environments make your thoughts noisy. That is why some people seem to pull attention without earning it. They may not even be aware they are doing it, but the effect is still there. A room can become heavier when one person enters. A mind can become foggier after one conversation. A body can feel tense before any real danger appears. That is energy manipulation at the level of atmosphere. The deeper problem is that people often mistake exposure for connection. They think the more they absorb, the more open-hearted they are. But openness without boundaries is not love. It is leakage. If you never close the door, everything enters. And if everything enters, nothing stays clear long enough to become useful. This is why the technique matters. The feet, the jaw, the shoulders, the breath, the inner sentence, these are not random details. They are a way of telling your system, enough. Stay here. Return to yourself. The moment you do, your energy stops drifting outward to feed whatever is nearest. You need to understand something that most people only learn after years of confusion. The room responds to your state before your mouth catches up. When you enter calm, the room softens. When you enter anxious, the room tightens. When you enter certain conversations with grounded clarity, people cannot pull you as easily. They feel the difference even if they cannot name it. This is why energetic skill matters in practical life. It changes negotiations, it changes intimacy. It changes how you are perceived when you say no, when you set a limit, when you stay silent instead of over-explaining. A person who controls their energy does not need to dominate. They simply stop being easily moved. That is also why the technique works best when it is repeated until it becomes automatic. One steady breath is useful. A practiced internal stance is stronger. You are training your body to stop reacting on command to every external signal. You are teaching your nervous system that it does not have to open itself to every force in the environment. And because this is real, you will notice resistance. The old habit will return. You will forget. You will leak again. That is normal at first. Do not turn a temporary lapse into a permanent identity. The goal is not perfection. The goal is direction. If you want to support that direction with language, use affirmations with a purpose. Keep them short. Keep them believable enough to repeat. And if you need help making them personal, the link in the description is there for that exact reason. Many people find that one clear phrase repeated daily becomes the shape their energy remembers. There is a hidden cost to giving your power away in small pieces all day. You become available to everyone except yourself. You answer too quickly. You think too much about what others expect. You adapt before you assess. You explain what should have stayed private. You keep trying to manage other people's reactions instead of managing your own state. And fragmented energy can be manipulated very easily. A person who is tired, emotionally overloaded, or desperate for approval will often agree to things they would never accept from a stronger state. They will overgive, they will undercharge, they will overshare, they will call confusion chemistry, they will call weakness love. This is why the first part of the technique is containment, not hardness, not coldness, containment. Feel your body, feel your breath. Choose one sentence, then hold the boundary around. Your attention is the most precious energy you own. Your attention is if your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The most dangerous energy loss is the kind that feels normal. You can survive a loud crisis and still be damaged by 100 tiny leaks that never got named. That is why this message is urgent. The longer you let your energy move unconsciously, the more your life is shaped by forces you never agreed to. But the moment you begin to notice, you can interrupt the pattern. Something strange happens when you stop leaking energy indiscriminately. People who were used to reaching you without resistance start hesitating. Situations that depended on your overreaction lose their power. Emotional hooks become easier to see. Manipulation becomes louder because your old softness is no longer automatic. This does not mean every person around you is against you. It means your field has changed, and change always exposes what was previously invisible. Some people will respect your steadiness. Some will resist it. Both reactions tell you something useful. Do not mistake the resistance for failure. Often, it is proof that the technique is working. When your energy is no longer scattered, your yes becomes clearer and your no becomes heavier. That is where real influence begins. Not in force, but in coherence. And if you are thinking that this sounds too simple to matter, test it. Before a stressful conversation, anchor your feet, release your jaw, relax your shoulders, breathe out the excess, and speak from a single clear state. Notice what changes. Notice how much less you have to push. Notice how much faster your mind settles when it is not trying to perform for everyone at once. If you want an additional structure to support that inner reset, use affirmations that speak directly to control, clarity, and steadiness. Many people find that having their own words makes the practice easier to keep. If that is useful to you, the link in the description can help you create them. Every real energy practice eventually faces a test, and the test is always personal. It shows up where you are weakest. For one person, it is conflict. For another, it is guilt. For another, it is the need to be liked. For another, it is fear of being unseen. The technique does not fail in those moments. It reveals where your attention still belongs to old programming. That is why you cannot merely know this information. You have to use it when the pressure rises. You have to notice the moment your energy starts scattering and catch it before it becomes a habit. You have to pause long enough to reclaim your state. That pause is the difference between being manipulated and being aware. The next time you feel pulled into chaos, do not rush to explain yourself. Do not hand over your center to earn a temporary sense of peace. Stop. Breathe. Gather your attention back. State your sentence. Then move from that place instead of from panic. That sequence is not dramatic, but it is powerful. It can change how you walk into work. It can change how you exit an argument. It can change how you sleep. It can change what you tolerate from yourself. And over time, it changes the kind of life that becomes possible around you. This is also why repeating the right words matters. A simple affirmation used consistently can become a signal to your mind that the old pattern is ending. If you want help making that signal personal, the link in the description is there. Use it as a tool, not a crutch. Let it support the energy you are learning to direct. Because once you feel the difference between scattered and contained, you do not want to go back. When you hold the line, your life starts becoming quieter in a useful way, not empty. Clear. You stop mistaking noise for movement. You stop confusing attention with connection. You stop surrendering energy just to keep the surface calm. This is where people often discover that their exhaustion was never purely physical. It was energetic. They were spending themselves in places where nothing returned. They were carrying emotional weather that was never theirs to hold. They were offering access without discernment, and once they stop, they finally understand how much of their fatigue came from unconscious transfer. Hold the line long enough, and your nervous system learns a new language. It learns that not every impulse requires a response. It learns that silence can be stronger than explanation. It learns that your presence does not have to perform to be effective. That is when the technique becomes more than a practice. It becomes an identity. You are no longer the person who reacts first and understands later. You are the person who notices, gathers, chooses, and then moves. That order matters. It is the difference between borrowed energy and owned energy. If you want a simple reminder to reinforce that identity, use a short affirmation each day. Many people find that a phrase repeated with intention keeps the state alive longer than motivation alone. If you want to create your own, the link in the description can help you do that now. This is the part most people miss. Once energy manipulation becomes obvious to you, it also becomes obvious that timing matters. If you learn to direct your energy before everyone else learns to read theirs, you gain an advantage that has nothing to do with force and everything to do with presence. You become harder to exploit, easier to trust, more difficult to shake. So do not wait until you are overwhelmed to start. Use the technique now, before the conversation, before the meeting, before the decision, before the text you know may pull you off center. Feet, jaw, shoulders, breath, sentence, return. And if you need support building the mental structure behind that practice, explore affirmations in a way that fits your own life. Many actors and legends use them because repetition can shape readiness. If you want to make your own, visit the link in the description and use it while it is available. From this point forward, stop treating your energy like a public resource. It is not meant to be scattered by every mood, every room, every demand, every fear, and every passing force that wants access to you. It is meant to be directed, held, strengthened, used with intention. Take the technique seriously. Use it until it becomes natural. Notice when you leak. Notice when you gather. Notice how much changes when you enter life from a centered state instead of a fragmented one. That is not imagination. That is control. And remember this, the world is full of people who move on impulse and call it freedom. You do not have to be one of them. You can be the person who knows where their energy is, what it is doing, and who gets access to it. That changes everything. So tonight, and tomorrow and the next time pressure tries to pull you apart, come back to the body, come back to the breath, come back to the sentence. Let your energy answer to you instead of to the noise around you. And if you want a simple way to reinforce that inner shift, use affirmations to support mental change. And visit the link in the description to make your own. Then keep going, because once you understand this, you do not just survive influence, you begin to direct it.